All right, all right. What's going on, Connie?
What up, Frankie? It's good to be
Everything
here,
is
man.
love, man. Yo, let me introduce this to start it off. This is the Frankie Needles NFT experience. It's a podcast I'm starting and just going back and reconnecting with all the early adopters in NFT space. And one of the earliest adopters is Connie Digital. And I'm super happy to have you on the show, my man. What's good with you?
It's good, bro. Happy to be here. I love what you're doing, retracing and bringing back some of the OGs to have a conversation. So shout out to you for enabling this platform.
Word.
Yeah, man, it's an interesting time to talk.
Right, exactly. I mean, a lot of people are in their emotions about it, and I think I've been saying since day one this, you don't put your emotions in your money. You know what I'm saying? Like cut
I
that
like
out.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I feel like all the early guys, we've been through a couple cycles. There's no big deal. You can either go to work or take some time off, whatever you want to do. But
Yeah,
there's no time for emotions. No time to be up in here, crying about what didn't work. You know what I'm saying? If you got this far and it all just didn't work, maybe you should just go to work. You know what I'm saying?
hey, I like that too. It's market cycles, right? It's
Right.
that it's that ebb and that flow, them peaks and them valleys, right? And you got to go through the bear market to get to the next bull market. But it's like, what do you do at this time? Like, how do you take advantage of the slowdown? Like, you got to double down on whatever you're doing, or take a break, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. But you got to readjust because it's going to go back up, right?
It
But you
just
got to be
depends
in
on what you
position.
believe in. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in yourself, if you believe in your convictions, you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? And when it comes to you, you know what I mean. I already know what you do. You know, when it comes to the music, I've been loving the music the whole time. Straight through. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Appreciate you.
uh, talk about your music and pretty much introduce yourself in however you want to be portrayed. Because I know everybody has their own thing in the NFT space. We've all been able to pretty much become our own selves, so you can really do whatever you
Yeah.
like. You know what I'm saying? So what do you kind of go by as far as like your artist or you know NFT OG? What is it?
Yeah, I mean that's a really good question. It's like, how do you define yourself?
Right.
And to me, I like the term Renaissance man. I've never
Okay.
actually said that before, but that's
Okay.
kind of how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do the music, like you said, but I also create visual art. I'm also a writer,
Mm-hmm.
like published in Gary V's
Okay.
1:37 p.m. blog and
Right.
crypto.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Yeah, crypto news, Coin Telegraph. So I'm a writer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a designer. Like if you check out my website, I did that. I did the whole layout and all that shit. So I do a lot of different things. So like I don't like putting myself in a particular box. To make it simple, I'll just say artist because that kind of encapsulates a lot of what I do. It's
Right.
all art at the end of the day. So
Yep.
so yeah, man, I've been in the whole crypto world though since 2013. So it's almost been a decade. And I've seen a lot of shit, a lot of shit.
Word.
Like I know a lot of people watching coming in are like NFT based and stuff like that, but I've been around long before that, long before Ethereum, like before
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum was even created, right? So I've seen a lot, and but this feels the NFT space just feels different. It's the culture,
Right.
it's the energy,
Yeah.
it's the creativity behind the technology. What can be could be boring and sometimes hard to understand, but when you put the art and the music and the creativity and the visuals on top of the tokens, that's where you get the culture from. So
Exactly.
it's dope.
Exactly. So with that being said, where did it start for you with NFTs? Because I know you go way further back, but when it comes to NFTs, where did it start for you? And I just want to give a picture to the younger generation that doesn't even probably a lot of them, they're into the flash in the pan type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
when it started for you, where were you in your life? You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's where was I in my life? That's a good question. So this
Mm-hmm.
was 2017 because that's when Crypto Kitties launched, and
Mm.
actually I still have some Generation Zero Crypto Kitties that I still hold today.
History right
But
there. You know what I'm saying? If people don't know that the crypto kitties was really the first thing to pop off, and you know, if you were involved in the beginning, a lot of these people became, that this is where a lot of the early guys came from. The whales you guys speak of, a lot of them, crypto kitty money. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
nah, Crypto Kitties was the wave, bro.
Right.
It clogged Ethereum. It shut the shit down.
Mm-hmm.
Like transaction costs was going up, the gas fees and stuff. And it was really a moment. and the people behind Dapper Lab, shout out to them. They actually invented the ERC 721 standard that so many people use today. Like that was them who came up with that, right? With CryptoKitties. So there's so much history behind that. But at the time in life, man, I was working with a marketing agency, and I was kind of like, I had my foot in and out because they were trying to like market ICOs and stuff at the time. And a lot of that shit felt like scams and weird shit. So like I was in and out. I was just trying to find myself. I think I had just moved into a new apartment at that time too. So like a lot of shit was like in flux.
Okay.
But yeah, man, like that's how I got introduced to it. CryptoKitties.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice, man. And that's so long ago, like I said, 2017. And at that time, I feel like no one was that big of a believer in the process. You know what I'm saying? The wave would have been the wave, but a lot of people especially in the regular world, but even the crypto world, you talking about guys, you know, in the just early crypto days, those guys wasn't believers in NFT technology being like the next big thing. You know what I mean? They were trying to get on, like you saying, the ICOs, you know, all that stuff was of the time, you know, and everybody does what's of the time, but what ends up happening is unforeseen things happen. And you know, if you don't, you know, if you're not up with that, then you might miss out on, you know, the real next big thing. You know what I mean?
Big facts. There's so much happening now too, right? It's like, what is the next NFT or the next ICO? What's that next boom look like in the, 2-3 years from now, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So something's always going on though.
Exactly.
You can expect
stay
something.
current. You know what I mean? I really believe that music has a real, like a lot of energy and potential around here. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to a lot of people musically about this and that. And you're seeing the how do you call it, the energy behind that. Like a lot of the fans want it, the artists want it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, I'm not saying that I'm calling that as the next big thing, but I do feel that there is gotta be something to that. You know what I'm saying? There's gotta be something to like the musically what people are trying to bring forward in this space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we saw a good taste of that last year, right? When we had the Metaverse Music Festival in Decentraland, that you and I got to collaborate on. I think, like, yeah, that is crazy. And you look at Travis Scott and he did that performance in Fortnite, right?
Right.
That, I think that's the trajectory, like what's going on in Decentraland and possibly the other side when that actually launches, right? It's the idea of metaverse music and having these events where people are present real time in a 3D environment where you can interact through voice or through chat, listen to music, watch video. Like you've been doing this for you know how it go. It's just on a bigger scale. You know what I mean? So that's where it's going for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm seeing that. Like I said, I like, it's like little by little, I'm hearing artists talk about it, that they want to do that. They want to get involved with a way for people to connect with their music in that kind of way. It's almost like being there, but there's some levels of better, and obviously you're not, the physical experience is nothing's ever gonna beat that. You're not feeling the music in your chest is way different, but being able to be at a festival with people from all over the world, that's impossible in the physical. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that's the reason why, let's say, metaverse music festivals and stuff like that have so much legs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, I can't be at a festival, standing next to somebody in Japan, and the physical. Now, again, there's nothing like standing there, being there and all that, experiencing your favorite artist and all that. But man, there's something about it, being able to kind of kick it with people you would never be able to connect with or even know you wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I had this one experience that kind of speaks to that. And it was inside one of the decentral game casinos.
Oh, yeah.
And I just happened to be talking with Tyler Winklevoss, right? Like, this the billionaire of billionaires, like, early investor, Facebook, that whole thing. And I was just like, this would never happen in the real world. I mean, it might, NFT NYC, maybe. But like, what I mean? Just the idea of being present with anyone in the world at that time is wild.
Yeah, that's really how I met you. I met you in Decentraland years ago, and I just was like, I knew you were doing stuff. I didn't know much about you. And I remember, just connecting. I just reached out to you and I was like, hey, at the time I was doing interviews as well. And I was like, hey man, like, you know, would you be willing to come talk with me? You know, and that was, again, I talk to people about the early days all the time when it comes to like how we were able to connect with people who, you know, we were able to connect with people who we may not have been able to in the regular world. Like a lot of the, you know, the misfits of the early days were people like me. Like I just, you know, I really couldn't get things going on in the regular business world. My personality, all that didn't really fit, you know? But people would speak to me in this world just if I knew stuff. And, you know, so I went and learned more. All right, you know, now we're talking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like those things, you know, that's how we got here. There's a lot of useful people with good, you know, sense and understanding and stuff that never really get a shot in the regular business world because they don't maybe fit the norms, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially you see that with the artists, you know, you got a lot of artists from different backgrounds and different everything, and they're welcome. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's really powerful what you said. Yeah, I mean, the Web3 space is a very interesting space because it is so early, right? And I had these conversations a few times where people ask about building community and how they should approach even getting into the space. And I think what you just said about learning, right? Because the more you learn, the more you could teach, right? And the more you could teach, like those people, what I found is if you teach somebody something, like they're more likely to stay loyal to you, right? Because they trust and they believe in what you're saying. You're guiding them, you're being a mentor. So like the more you could do that with your community, take them along the journey. If you learn something, teach it to them. Like that's how you grow. And I think that's a great approach for anyone trying to like get deep into the space and build something. So
right.
Yeah,
man. So as far as the music in the space now, do you follow any, not that necessarily follow, but you know, do you keep your eyes on what people are doing, like as far as, you know, people making music about this stuff and things like that? And how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I catch what I catch on Twitter, really.
Right.
If somebody is promoting a track, NFT maybe on Catalog or OpenSea or Sound, like, you know, music specifically, like I'll click on it, I'll listen, I'll just peruse Catalog on a random day. Like I try to keep abreast on, you know, what's going on. You know, if I'm being completely honest though, like the music is the music. I don't really hear anybody speaking on certain, it just sounds like shit I've all heard before. Like I don't hear anything current about the time we're living in, about like real time shit happening in the world. Like I don't really hear that, but it just depends on the artist, I guess. So.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, you know, that comes with, you know, just like we talked about with when digital art first started, it was like, you know, and I don't want to equate anybody's music to trash art, but you know what I'm saying? Like you had the early adopters who might have, you know, may or may not have had all the like professional artistic background type thing, you know, and then eventually you had the Trevor Joneses of the world coming to play, you know. So I feel like, you know, the music's gonna do the same thing because I hear from real artists that want to make moves around here, you know what I'm saying? So I know it's on the way. It's how we're gonna get, not necessarily me personally, but how we're gonna get them in here, you know, as a community. How are we going to invite them? How are we going to receive them? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I remember one of my favorite, it was like, I know this is ridiculous, but it was like an aha moment when they came out with that Sorry Not Sorry song, Jay and Nas. And, you know, Nas was talking about cryptocurrency.
They was talking hella shit. They was flexing, boy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like there's finally somebody really saying something like that, you know what I'm saying, around here, you know? Because we was... I had moved into this crib. I was like, I don't even know if I can pay for this shit. You know what I'm saying? That song here, I was like, I can pay for this shit. You know what I mean?
I fuck with it.
That shit was funny, man. But for real, because it just felt like we were validated. It was like, you know, people with real money is really doing this. Like we thought, but you know, you can't go in nobody's pockets and really see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Nas had that bar about Coinbase. I forget what he said. Something. Crypto,
said, basically cryptocurrency, Scarface, or some shit like that. Yeah.
Shout out to Nas. Shout out to Jay.
For real.
Yes, sir.
They set it off, and then you know you got Jim Jones doing things around here too, and that's all that stuff is big for you. You got to understand that you need the big artists too. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you with the art world, you know, when you have the bigger people come in, it's important, man. It's, you know, not everybody's gonna have that many people following them. You know what I mean? You had the normal people. I was out in the financial district out here, and you see how they feel about it, and they don't understand anything about this, and they laugh at it because they're the people who, and I'm not gonna, it is what it is, but the people who watch kind of like regular TV every day, they taking that information that way, and they're not gonna be looking forward, but when their favorite artist, who's the the mainstream thing, is saying, hey, this is what's popping, now they believe. I know me and you were saying, oh, the information's there, but they're gonna need somebody like their mascot to say, hey man, this is what we doing, and then like, oh yeah, that is what we doing,
Yeah, no, it's true. And you can't stop that. I mean, it's coming, right? Everybody is going to adopt this technology at some point to survive. But I think it's how it's done, like how they enter the space, their approach, if it feels or looks like a money grab versus a genuine sort of, I want to learn, I want to share, I want to teach, I want to grow, I want to contribute, what I mean? Shit like that. You could feel the difference, right? So,
and all that's gonna play out. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Like they're gonna, when they get in here, they either gonna be received well or not, and it's gonna help them or hurt them.
Yeah.
And it's about how much energy you put into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just look at this like, oh, I'm gonna throw you some shit that's like not exclusive to your community. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be exclusive to the community. That's how you get people the respect and love from the community, and you need that because around here there's a specific kind of people that's into this right now. Like, in the future, maybe there's more, like the rest of the world or whatever. But like right now, you would need kind of like buzz from this community, even if you're a big artist and you already do things, because you got millions of followers. How many of them got how many of them got MetaMask? You know what I mean? How many of them can like, I was approached with like doing some things on a platform that wasn't big already, and I was like, how? You know what I'm saying? Because now I gotta like make your platform big before I can even do anything for myself here. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And not to say your platform doesn't work or whatever, doesn't do a ton of transactions or whatever. We're talking about a whole different chain. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's cool that you got a chain, man.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? But you need to like, there's so much to it. Like, I've heard a lot about this, like, the normal conversation, or maybe the water cooler conversation, like, oh, Solana is gonna break Ethereum, or all these people, they say these crazy lines, like it's a line. I'm like, even if you could do all the things that would be better for for everything, you need to have proven that you can have, like, Ethereum. They got, like, I can't count right now, but let's say they got 10,000 projects built on Ethereum right now. You know what I mean? Like, talking about other coins that have been built, and then the NFT world and stuff like that. At least 10,000 projects probably. You know what I'm saying? Your coin, your blockchain needs to kind of do that first before you can say that you're about to do anything better than anybody.
Facts. Facts. No, you're right. Like, it takes time. Like, Ethereum launched in like 2015, right? So what's that, 7 years at this point? And we're still not even there yet. Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to merge. The merge is supposed to happen, I think, this summer, like in August, right? So Ethereum is about to upgrade. But yeah, you're right. You have to have the users. You have to have the community. You have to have the projects. Ethereum has so many ERC20 tokens, social tokens, governance tokens, utility tokens, this flavor, that flavor. We got all types of stuff. And then you got Polygon as a L2. And Ethereum is like, it's hard to compete with at this point. But, something like a Solana, I mean, I'm not doubting it. It has a lot of money behind it, right? And it's dope for what it does. I mean, I use it. I have a Phantom wallet, right? But it's just not there yet. But will it be? Quite possibly. So that's the opportunity right now. Like, if you believe that it will be, that's the opportunity.
For me is, I feel like they've gotta have their downs. Everybody is like in the middle of a bull run. And I guess we could be toward the end of it. Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, in the middle of a run up, everything looks good. You know what I mean? But, if you do your history, it used to be blue coin, red coin, all kind of thing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Like, it's got to have the time where blue coin, red coin went away, and then Solana stayed. I'm just picking Solana, TRX or whatever, any of these coins. You know what I'm saying? That they stay, and that they then prove that they have long lasting people working on projects on, you know, on that chain that, you know. So that's how I
Yep.
feel like you gotta show that it's more than just the price run up. You know what I'm saying?
You got to weather the storm. I think that's what we're seeing, right? In this current early stages of this bear market, is people, you know, a lot of PFP projects are not, they're not gonna make it, bro. They're not making it, right?
It's
So
funny because these spaces, man, I pop into a space from time to time and listen to what people talking about. And I'll be blown away, man. I'm like, man, y'all be better served reading something. You know what I mean? Or watching a video even. Like, I mean, you know, anything but sitting in this space, you know, chopping back and forth about which you know, which PFP thing is better. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
they had like, it's almost like the cool kid slang. Like they, you know, and they, I don't, not to me, but you know what I'm saying? Like the PFP, like they kind of created all these different slangs. You know what I mean? That next thing you know, when you're talking, and I used to joke like a lot of rappers talking catchphrases. You know what I'm saying? And this is from before NFT stuff. I'm just talking about, you know, I was in the hip hop all this time. So you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of rappers, you would catch them just like, man, you know, you ain't saying nothing. You just saying the catchphrase after catchphrase after catchphrase. Like, you know, there's no substance in what you're saying. And I
yeah,
feel like the PFP world has kind of a version of that. You know, like, you know, they got their little slang words, and if they keep saying them, they're gonna get attention. That's what I mean. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But the reality is, there's people working in these backgrounds. You know what I mean? And if, you know, if you're just trading and buying and trading and buying, that's not work. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody's got to be coding. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The PFP thing, I think it had its run. I think it's had its peak. Obviously, everything has crashed at this point. You know, some projects are going to survive that. You know what really annoys me though is like the lack of creativity behind it. Because you go on OpenSea right now, you'll see something Duck Yacht Club, this Bear Yacht Club, this other derivative yacht club. Like this shit is just lame to me. Like it's super lame at this point. Y'all gotta do better at the creativity part. Like
Right.
what the fuck is going on?
Right. They, you know, that's kind of like, remember when they had the run up before, and then there was like, some iced tea company was like blockchain iced tea or something like that, and their shit blew
Yeah,
up.
yeah. They changed their name and shit.
Yeah, it's that. You know what I'm saying? It's that, and you know, I don't know. That's what people do. That's what people. There's a lot of creatives that. It's weird, and I go back to my experience in the financial district the other day, because it's like I went and just experienced like what they're about. You know what I mean? It's like nobody's trying to reinvent the wheel over there. They just like doing what does. You know what I mean? Until it doesn't, and then they'll just be like, "That's bad because it didn't." You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. Hey man, look, everybody got to get in when they fit in, but like
Right.
one thing I will say for like longevity purposes, like being innovative will go a long way as an artist. Like just not doing the same shit over and over and over. It's cool if you have a style and people come to learn about you and appreciate you for your style in that way, but like you gotta try new shit, try to be innovative. That's how you stand out. Like if you keep doing the same shit everybody else doing, I mean, you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. So,
Exactly. You gotta bring something new to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, really, really, whether it's music, art, or whatever, you gotta always bring something new. Like, I give it up when it comes to Bored Apes. They did bring something new to the table. There was like art, and it was kind of art in a PFP way. Because I remember being approached about this, and I'm like, I'm not. At the time, I had bought a bunch of art, and I was just like, man, I ain't buying no more art. That's just the way I felt at the time. You know what I mean? So I was wrong, obviously, about the money. I didn't know that thing was gonna blow up like that. You know what I'm saying? But then I had an experience in Miami. I met a Bored Ape guy, and he was not an innovator. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get into it. I don't remember the kid's name, so it didn't matter. But like, and we didn't really speak that much. But I saw what he was about, and it was like, you're about being in Miami. You know what I'm saying? You know, like there's more to this than trips to Miami, even though trips to Miami are fun.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. Yeah. It you know what? It really depends on the era or the year people get into crypto, kind of shapes like how they interact with everybody and the technology. It's very interesting. Like coming in at the height of the Bored Apes and the PFPs, that sort of thing. I don't know. You have a different perspective than people who got in earlier than that, right? It's different.
Well, it's
It's
because,
different.
I think I was talking, I forget it was Maddie but the amount of things that changed on the open, like not, let's say open sea charts. Like if, you go look at open sea charts, and if you were to take that snapshot month after month after month after month, it'd be like, and then just run it as a video, just like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be
Right.
things gradually moving up, and it'd be like, boop, whole new set of 10 that you
Yeah.
never heard of, and then a whole new set of 10 you never heard of, a whole new set, and then maybe the one that stayed, up there or whatever, you know what I mean? And even the
Yeah.
number one would change after, a couple not that long, you know?
Yo, do you remember this? I could swear, like, right? I think Bored Apes might have changed this. I could be wrong. But before Bored Apes on OpenSea, it used to say average selling price for NFT. And then after Bored Apes, it felt like it turned into floor
Floor
price.
price.
Right. Like
I don't know
a
if it was
lot of
Bored Apes
shit.
or CryptoPunks that really got with that, but yeah, floor price. It started just because that was the conversation in Discords.
Yeah.
What's the floor price? What's the floor? These guys are buying up the floor, sweeping the floor. Da-da-da-da.
Sweeping the floor.
For real.
Yeah. Yep. Hmm.
You know,
It's the culture, man.
exactly. There is a level of culture there, and then there's some like just like I said, in the middle of things running up and things going well, everybody's feeling good. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's a whale. Made a couple of dollars, they reinvest in it, and now they're a whale. You know, but
Yeah.
this stuff comes and goes.
Yep.
That's
Sure.
I feel like people that don't understand the technology, they're gonna find their way up out of here probably. You know what I'm saying?
The way to the exit. Yeah.
until it's time, because the thing is, there's gonna be time. I was thinking about this recently too. About like let's say wearables in Decentraland. You know what I'm saying? Where there's gonna be time where they're like T-shirts, where you're not expecting to resell a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I ain't expecting to go on eBay like, oh, I caught this Ric Flair T-shirt, and now I'm gonna sell it, on eBay 10 years later for, or whatever, even 3 months later for 60x or some ill shit. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you're probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that there's gonna
Nah.
be a time when people have
It's true.
NFTs in that same kind of vein. Like, yo, you pay $20 for an NFT, it does something, and I like that. Done.
Yeah.
It ain't, of course, there's gonna be a bunch of historic shit, just like there's I'm sure if you find, I don't know, the first Louis Vuitton shirt or something like that, that's probably worth bread right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But everything ain't Louis Vuitton.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. Now you're right, man. I tend to agree with that. I think that's where we head. It is that flipping mentality though, that fucking hype beast sort of like flipping sneakers, but in a digital sense with these NFTs. Is there's that side to it, but
It's like the same
for the
thing as
majority
that.
of people,
Yeah, but what was that movie, The Big Short, like the housing run up when they were just selling, like they're just selling. My mom bought a house during that run up. You know what I mean? Like I remember that. Everybody's getting a house. You know what I'm saying? Like you live in a house now. Everybody lives in a house that they own and stuff. They own like through some real shady. I'm like, I remember thinking at the time, not nothing about my mom, but I'm like, how'd you get that house? Who approved you for that? You know what I'm saying? Like. It's just that was the time. That was you had people out of control just trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
I'm sure I wasn't around. I don't remember anything about like the .com boom. I was like a little younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
Or even but I bet there was people doing the same type things. You know what I mean? That
I'm sure.
90% of the .com stuff was a scam. I mean, think about like let's say domain names. Like they probably sold, some of them probably sold for crazy money in the beginning on speculation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then, I bet a lot of those domain names didn't do anything. You probably go to them and either they don't exist right now as web pages or any, but somebody probably bought that for like a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of them sold for a lot of money. Like sex.com was like $1 million plus, it was multi-millions. I forget exactly, but pets.com is a good example for the whole bust or whatever. But yeah, domain names as an asset class, even on Ethereum, like the .eth ENS names, I think people look at them in a similar sort of way, right? So, I mean,
I always thought
there's
that was
another
interesting too, because you have the ENS names, then you got unstoppable domain, and unstoppable you can almost put anything, any extension at the end of it, and you're like, and the unstoppable ones are you own them outright. Whereas the ENS name is like you got to do a subscription. I didn't get my ENS name forever because of the description thing, the subscription thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't just own it. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But I got
I
it
don't like
eventually.
that part.
I ain't gonna let somebody else buy it, so I bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to buy it for like the next 100 years or some shit.
That's
If
what
you
I bought
want
it. I bought it for 10. I think that was the longest I could get it for at the time.
Okay. Yeah, I think that part's pretty whack. I wish they would change that because you're right. Unstoppable is you don't have to renew it. You know.
I've been having my unstoppable domains just in my wallet, and that was like one of those things where I did like I did like Wheel of Fortune or like real crazy ones like that. Just because I was like, I think I did what was it? It was like NASA JPL, one of those like Jet Propulsion Lab things. You know what I mean? I just try to grab ones that later on somebody would buy off me, but then they're just sitting there. I don't, whatever. It'd probably be like that dude who sold Voice one day. You know what I mean? Like Wheel of Fortune came and paid me up. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Funny though. So where do you see us going now as far as like, especially with the music? Because I'm really interested. When it comes to the music. I know you're talking about like the festivals and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know, how are we gonna get kind of like the regular masses? What is that thing? How do we NFT? And also, is it NFT music like with actual music just on the NFT, or would it be like some other way, like kind of like that's like the merchandising, the NFT? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. To be honest. Definitely don't have all the answers, but I could tell you what I'm doing, which I think is pretty, pretty innovative and pretty cool. And
hold up, before you even go there, because I want to tell everybody, Connie did everything first. Y'all are don't get it messed up. Go do your research. He literally everything that you seen, he did it first. I guarantee you, he tried it before they tried it. I want to go there before you even get into that.
Yeah. No, I mean. That's true. A lot of it is true. A lot of it is true. But that's part of the game. That's part of the game that I love is trying new shit, right? And so one thing that has me excited is the idea of generative projects, right? We've been talking about PFPs, but those are generative art projects, more specifically like generative music projects. So I know Async has announced music blueprints. And if anybody knows anything about Async, Async is the first and only programmable art NFT marketplace, right? So you definitely have to go do your research to understand what programmable NFTs and artwork looks like. I'm not going to take 10 minutes to do that right now, but I actually shout out to Async and the whole crew. I was actually a part of their launch when they launched 2 years ago. And then last year they launched programmable music. So I was a part of that as well. This year, they launched something called Blueprints, which is generative art projects, but now they're doing music. So I'm excited to experiment with that and what that looks like. Try to innovate around distribution and how you release a project, right? Additions of music, random cover art, random songs, random versions of songs, just you hit mint and you don't know what you're going to get, right? But you create a blueprint where you kind of outline the parameters. Like it's going to be this song, and that song, this cover art, that cover art, this cover art, this special thing, that special thing. So you get the program how you want it to potentially look. And then when they hit mint, they get what they get. And it creates collectability within the music. Because maybe when I hit mint, I get a song. I think the song is cool. I like it. But you hit mint and you got a different song. I like that one more. So maybe I want your song. Maybe we trade, right? But then you can create other collectible elements within the artwork. And so it's wild.
As far as like, let's say you're making a song, is it the lyrics that stay and then the music would change? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, it could be yes or no. It's really how you decide to approach it, which is the cool part. Like you have the tools to do that if you wanted to do that, or you could do something different. If we talk about the programmable music that Async launched last year, what that was like I had 3 different beats and 3 different verses, right? And those were all interchangeable. So one verse might lay on this beat one, but also lay on beat three. And when you mint it, you get a randomized sort of, you know what I mean,
Okay.
combination.
Okay.
But when you create it, you definitely want to create it where they all sound good together, which is kind of like the trick. Like you have to record it, your cadence, your delivery has to match.
Well, that was what
You
I was
want to,
asking, because I do some rapping, and when I write something, I write it to that beat. It should, like,
yeah,
to me. I mean, yeah, I could do it over another beat, but I would feel like, I would be disrespecting the you're talking about the cadence and everything else, So
yeah,
if I was to do that, I'd have to write to 3 beats at the same time, kind of. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which that's the challenging part, but
Yeah,
that's the beauty
challenge
of it.
accepted. I'll be ready in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's the fun part. So yeah, I see a future where fans collect provably fair random versions of an artist's song and cover art, and it creates collectability within the community because, like I said, maybe I want that version and you can have my version, or maybe I want both. Maybe I want the whole collection. Maybe I go out on a mission to get all 6 songs or whatever it is, right? So yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, but shout out to Async because they're building the tools to make all of this possible. So
That's crazy. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of what they were doing. Like, I had talked with Micah Johnson a few years ago. Maybe that's crazy to even think about. That was that long ago. But what he was doing with in the beginning, that was his first project. What he did with the boys and the door and the astronaut on the other side of the door. And as they got older, it was like a new picture every time that and they got closer to. And I believe that it's probably complete now. I'm not even sure, but they like became the astronaut. And then now he has like his other project, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's it's basically like alluding to that project, to the original Async project.
yeah,
That
I
was
think it's
really,
Aku or something like that. Aku,
yeah, yep.
AKU.
Aku, yeah, Aku, yeah, I can't remember that. I don't have it to look up right now, but yeah, that I just felt like was a really great example of how to use async. You know what I'm saying? So that was what turned it, like, for me. That's what really kind of like I understood it after that. I think for
Yeah.
a while I didn't understand async, and that's why you gotta kind of go down your own rabbit holes. You're gonna find it at your own speed. And you were involved with the launch. I didn't know nothing about async until I talked to Micah. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You really you got to take the initiative to go look at these things and learn about these things. And, because a lot of what I just said probably went over a lot of people's head. Like they probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But, visuals help. Like just take the jump to go learn about some of the things, and you get a broader perspective, right? Like you'll see what's possible. That's the other thing, right? We have this new fucking technology, but again, shit just seems basic. Like, yes, you could tokenize a song. Yes, you could tokenize a piece of art, a 3D model. Okay, we all can do that now. The technology exists to do that. But what else can we do? And with Async, again, as an example, they made it so that if you hold the NFT, it's programmable. So you can like change the look of it. Like you can do different transactions to change the size of it, the orientation of it, the state of it. Like the token actually unlocks all these abilities versus just having like, a static NFT or just an audio NFT. This is more dynamic. This is more creative, you know.
It's actually creative in the background and not on the front. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
this stuff has been art or creativity right in the foreground. Like, oh, the picture is the art, or the creativity is the music or whatever. Now you're talking about the creativity in the coding.
Yeah.
Right? So I think
Yeah.
that's great as far as when it and I'm surprised no one else is trying it. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been the only ones doing it forever, and it's not like a
Yeah.
brand thing. It's not like something that no one else could do.
Right.
Like there's OpenSea, then there was like Rareable, and then there was like Looks Rare, whatever. All these different platforms. They're not doing nothing different, but there is market share for them. It
Right.
seems as if like no one's even attempting what Async does.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to what they're doing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
leaps and bounds ahead of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's possible to replicate them, but for now, they're definitely the market leader with programmable NFTs. So, yep.
That's crazy. So
Yes, sir.
what? So I'm sorry. Now, when it comes to your project on Async, is that your newest thing that you got going on?
Well, yeah, I've been working on it. Like, I don't know when it's actually going to launch or whatever. Like, the shit that I'm talking about right now, they haven't even launched the music blueprints yet. They're gearing up to launch. I've seen them send out some tweets. They got their launch partners. I think it's supposed to launch. I think I seen somebody tweet they're launching on June the 2nd, their project, which is like next week, I guess.
Yeah, that's soon. Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as me, I won't be participating in the launch, but hopefully sometime afterwards, I'll put out a project.
Yeah, that sounds cool. And like I said, I think I might even go down that rabbit hole because that seems like a lot of fun. You know, almost like when in the beginning when you first started to say, I'm like, wait a minute, you know, because I like to write to this beat. And I was like, what if you had that? What if you had like the whole process of, you know, a couple different beats, and then, you know, in the you could have beat one beat, let's say 3 beats, right? But what if then, you know, you had like a couple different 4-bar sets, you know, where the beat can change now. So now in the beginning of the second verse, you know what I'm saying? The beat goes, or in the middle of the first verse or whatever, the beat changes or something. I mean,
Right.
so now I'm like kind of like, yeah, even just mentally going down the rabbit hole, I'm gonna have to go look it up, and this is what you do, man. You go look it up, you go do that research, you know, you go read
Yeah.
some stuff, you know, figure out how it works, and then use it. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah,
process.
there's actually in music theory, there's a concept called themes and variations. And for anybody interested, just look that up. It'll give you a good starting place on how to go about constructing the music part of it to even write your lyrics on top of, right? Because at least for me, what I did in my process was that I had all the beats up front. So that way I could write to all of them in a way where I knew sonically it all makes sense once it mints. I needed to have all the beats up front to begin with, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why I always write to one beat, but if let's say I had 3 beats, 5 beats, whatever it may be, all the same BPM. And for this, I would want it to be like that, all the same BPM, and then I could write over one during, you know, this part and one over that part. Then I think I'd be able to make that work. You know what I'm saying? And then it could be interchangeable, but I'd have to have them all. You know,
Yeah.
that's my process of writing. I don't know what everybody does. You know, I think there's a lot of I don't know, smoke and mirrors around people's writings. You know what I mean? Like some people be like, I don't even write, you know, or
Oh
I
yeah,
can write in 30 minutes or something. You know, I'm like, listen, man, I don't do that, but what I say is important. You know, so
Hey, no, I fuck with that. I fuck with that because you're right though. It almost became like the cool thing to say, like, "Oh, I didn't write that," or "Oh, we did that shit in 30 minutes," or like. But if you want something to be great or the best that it could be, it might take you longer than 30 minutes, bro. You might actually have to sit down and write that shit. You ever listen to Nas, my nigga? Like Nas writes his shit out. Like, what are
right.
y'all talking about?
You know,
You
there's
know?
the crazy shit. The Nas talked about one time sitting with Biggie, and he's like, he's writing this long. You know, he's been all night trying to write, and he can't think of anything. And this happens to me a lot. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I just can't think of this thing. And Biggie come on like he's like, hey, you know, I think this ain't really working out. We both don't got nothing. And Biggie spits the verse of you know, because he writes it up here. It's that Brooklyn shit. Them dudes, you know what I mean? But so you know, he writes it up there, and so he just kicked it, and he's like, wow, you know, and that's what Nas felt like. He said, wow, like that's a different level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. But you know what, too? You know, there's so many different variations, right? Because like I don't know what Big's process was, but like it is possible just to go into a booth and just freestyle a whole verse. But then that's one thing. That's like one take, maybe, right? But then other people are just punching. Like they'll spit a bar and then they'll stop and they'll punch. They'll say something they don't like it. They'll change it. They'll punch and they just keep
That's what I
punching
like
until
to
they
do
got
for guys
16.
that can really freestyle like that. When sometimes I'm recording my friends or something, I like to punch them. I like let them punch and let them do their thing because they think of crazy stuff. But at the same time, I always felt this about freestyling. We're just getting into hip hop stuff, but like, you know what I'm saying? I've always felt this about freestyling. It was like freestyling to me is like shooting the shit, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you say some shit that's funny for the moment. Hey, that's funny. Hey, you know, but you know, to me, what I feel about rap that I love is that you can really write some shit that's deep meaning. You can have metaphorical stuff that deep meaning, and you have to really think about the person that, you know, it came from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and as far as like, you know, when it comes to like Big and these guys, like I always felt that they were constructing it up there. I don't think they were really off the top going like they just thought of it 5 seconds ago. You know what I mean? It's more like they're constructing it. Boom, boom, boom. It's just like we write, but they're just not using the paper. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I felt about that. I don't know. I'm not 100%. Biggie's not around no more to say that. You know what I mean? It just seems like that's kind of like Jay's process, and that's like what they talk about. You know, it kind of came from this culture of, you know, being downstairs, and, you know, there's a lot of, like, I got a lot of friends from Brooklyn, and, you know, there is like you on pointness all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's like there's no time for slacking, lacking, anything. You know, everybody's up on your case all the time, you know, and it makes you tough, makes you, you know, mentally like come with it every single second, every day, you know?
Yeah. No, what you just explained, bro, is the art of songwriting, like similes and metaphors and double entendres and like how many syllables can you piece up? Like there's an art to writing, and then there's also an art to delivering and performing the shit, right? But like, I don't know, bro. Like the bar, I think musically the bar has been set so low at this point that people forget. People forget.
You know what I always
like
felt about when it comes to hip hop and that topic right there? When Cannabis and Eminem came out, we had, that's like 98 time or whatever, you know? I don't remember the exact year, but let's call it 98. It's like they broke the system. It was like people are no longer trying to get good at rapping no more. They were like, they broke it. These guys are doing shit that, you know, they're 20 years ahead of their time. So everybody started to come with like, I do flow. Flow is my biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like because you got the guy breaking the whole, you know, there's no more competition. These two guys are like this, you know what I'm saying? Like up there, you know, and then you have, you know, and not to say there was no other rappers and that those end up being the best rappers, you know what I'm saying? In my book, they weren't. But at the time, it just felt like other rappers started quitting on it. Like, nah, man, I ain't lyrical no more, man. I do flows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, start singing and shit. Yeah.
Fucking
Nah, I feel you.
All that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you can't take anything away from M. He does what he does masterfully. Like, yeah. So I can see people being intimidated by that level of skill.
Happened. Yeah. I really felt that really what happened, you know, but I don't know. I mean, people got back to it. Certain rappers got back to it and stuff, but definitely, like, it felt like for a time that you had people quitting on it. Like, man, if I'm gonna make money around here, man, I better do something else. You know,
That's true.
You got to have how do you call it, like confidence in what you do, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that. Like, I wasn't even rapping back then. I wasn't even writing stuff back then or nothing like that. So I couldn't even, you know, talk about from personal experience what it was like on the scene with other rappers and nothing like that. But that's what it felt like. I was DJing at the time, and it just felt like a lot of people gave up and started doing other shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's, you know, that's what happens when something that good happens. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you're gonna see a lot of that around here. You know, this NFT project hit it. You know, they hit the nail on the head, and then everybody's like, I do this then. You know what I'm saying? And this is gonna be their new thing. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you're right. We'll see. But no, I do feel that because some people, sometimes you set the bar so high that people feel like they have to live up to that. But it's really just about being yourself, the best version of yourself. Like that's all you could do. You know what I mean? Put the time and effort into your craft and actually take it seriously. Like that's it. Like you ain't got to be better than nobody. Just be the best you.
That right there. A lot of MCs need to understand that. Like it ain't really. I mean, we all being competitive, yes. Like, you know, because you want to have a competitive nature in this thing. But being the best is such a relative thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't all just say this artist or that artist is the best. You know, and that's for me learning that over, you know, years and years of experience, really having these conversations about the best. You know what I'm saying? There was a time when I was DJing. That was like all I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Who's the best at this? I got this person. And people making their little lists and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Top 5.
Yeah, but your list is relative to, it's just like life. It's relative to your environment. It's relative to who you are. You know?
Yeah.
There's rappers, I'll get into that. I didn't like Pac. Just wasn't my flavor. I don't like Ye. Just ain't my flavor. They weren't my flavor of people. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have hung out with them. So I'm gonna really like their music? I feel like a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? That's it's like, again, it's all relative to, to, for instance, like, I don't know if you want to get into it. Who do you look at as like great rappers? You know what I mean? Let's say, just, I'm not saying a list, just who do you look at as great rappers?
Nas. I think Nas is right up there. Jadakiss. I actually appreciate Lil Wayne for his longevity and just how he's reinvented himself numerous times. Yeah.
Yeah. See, in my thing, I like Jay. I like Raekwon. You know what I'm saying? I like Jada as well. Jada is one of my, the whole Locks is really, but I like Uncle Murder a lot. You know what I'm saying? I like Joel Ortiz a lot. I think that these guys have like real high quality things that, that I take from them, and understand about the way I do things now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I just think that when it comes to music, it's relative to how you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's very true. Very true.
That was just a short example. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you're not going to tell me who's the best or what's the best. And I don't go for just music. That's for everything. Like, a lot of people trying to be the best at everything. You know what I mean? But like, how much energy are you going to spend trying to be the best? Because what happens is, like, you're going to be always chasing the best, like, how do you call it? Like, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this guy gets a watch this big, and now I got the watch this big. The whole, I got like when Ghost came with when everybody was doing the jewelry, and Ghost was like, all right, we doing jewelry. He went and got the sun plate, and he got the arm like thing, and the eagle arm thing. Like, come on, man. Like, how far do we go? You know what I mean? Hey, I love that. I wish he was still rocking that. You know what I mean? Because that shit was hard. But I'm just saying, like, that's what I mean about being the best. Like, where are we going with that at some point? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. I think a lot of people equate it to sales, though. Sales numbers, even in this space, in the NFT space, it's like,
that's the biggest. Because they want to put it in a like a quantifiable like thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was always my thing when people talking about like numbers at the time, like, early in the days, we talking about record sales. This person went platinum. And it's like, you can trick somebody into buying your shit, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy a bunch yourself, but nobody knows it was you. And
that's part of the trick, though. You know what I'm saying? You trick them because they're like, 500,000 people bought. Like, this dude bought 250 of himself. You know what I'm saying? He got just a stack of CDs, a whole room. Like, there's like drug dealers. They got the whole room full of bricks. This dude got a whole room full of his own CDs. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Hey, bro, he believed in himself, bro.
He sure did. You want everybody to have a free one.
Hey, yo. That shit's funny. It's true, though.
It's funny, too. I don't know how many rappers you be around, but when you're around rappers, you see what it is. Sometimes it's a show, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's a legit show. Not to saying I'm not going, there's a lot of real rappers that still put on a show, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying dudes aren't street and all this other shit. Like, dudes getting their emotions about that. Like, what you trying to say about me? You know what I mean? It ain't all that. I'm just, there's an element of, it's a show. I remember speaking with, I believe he passed away now. Oh, man, I forget his name. Wow. And I don't want to disrespect.
Mm-hmm. Well, just tell me the story. What happened?
Yeah, I know. I was speaking to a legendary rapper, and I can't remember. I'm sorry, he passed away, and I cannot remember. I'm not going to describe him in any kind of way. So I was talking to a legendary rapper who was involved with, the Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying? He was in the Ghetto Boys. The dude's the dwarf.
Bushwick?
Yeah. Bill, thank you. So I'm talking with Bushwick one day, and he's talking about the way they made the Chronic. And it was like a team effort. It wasn't like nobody had no ego. It was like if bars came from over here, then bars put them on the table. I'm gonna rap those bars. You know what I'm saying? There was no ego. It was all part of the show. Because when they got to the to the show, now the full project, it was Dr. Dre's vision, was on display. You know what I'm saying? And he had come up with this vision. All right, if y'all can execute this vision, we gonna be big. You know what I mean? And that's what he was explaining to me. He said it didn't matter what was coming from where. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah. I like that. You just got to put the pieces together.
Change my perspective on the game. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, wow, yo, like these, you think it's this. We're all chasing the best. Because during that time I was rapping, I was writing. And yeah, I was trying to have the best or whatever. He's like, you don't understand about how a lot of this shit is a show. You know what I'm saying? So, if I take bars from somebody, but I got a name, why wouldn't I take bars from somebody? Because I got a name. I got to keep music coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not my
no,
style.
I get
it's
it.
not me, but
I get it if I'm on a team and like we're working on something together, but just random, like taking something from a random person. Like I'm sure that shit happens all the time. Like
not my style. My point is, it does happen all the time, and much more than you would believe, because these people got to keep up their business. You know what I'm saying? And keep up their thing. So you might look at somebody like, this is the best rapper, but how many times he took bars from people? That you really don't even know about that. Or how much of that is a show? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not every rapper is. Some of them are really, really. You know what I mean? Like I hang out with some people like that are established, and I'm not gonna get into all that, but I hang out with some people that are established. They really, really. The people I be around is really, really. But it took a while to find that, man. I hung out with a lot of weird rappers for a while, man. You know what I'm saying? That they had like a lot of really, really things going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just, you got to understand
show,
when
like
it's the show. Yeah. And when it's not,
Yeah. It's all part of the game.
Yeah. It's all good though. I really think that when it comes to music, you gotta tell your story. That's what I always say, the most genuine thing. Like I remember I always, used to DJ for another rapper back in the day. And I remember him coming to me about something. I forgot, and I was like, son, you gotta tell your story. They care. You know what I'm saying? They give a fuck about your story, dog. But you gotta go and tell it. You can't be telling them all this other stuff because you're lyrically on another level. So you're gonna, bury somebody under the concrete, under your feet, all that. Like, tell them your real story. You know what I'm saying? And he started doing that shit, and his shit started doing even better because it wasn't doing bad before that. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he took it from me. I don't know. Man, this is so many years ago. I don't know if that was the conversation that tipped it, whatever. But, when that started happening, man, it was a different level. You know what I'm saying? People, they can feel that. They can feel that you're coming from a space of, this is really me. You know what I'm saying? This is, this is, you're getting a portrait of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's that level of like just being vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like just being willing to be open and putting yourself out there. Like that shit, you gotta be courageous to do that shit a lot of times. Like to put your story out there, to be vulnerable and honest and open like that, you gotta be mature to a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes people just don't want to do that. They rather just turn up, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But
definitely.
Yeah.
With the most, definitely. As far as me, when it comes to music, with the most substances, I should come away from that being like, I kind of know this guy. You know what I'm saying? You walk in, and you would know then how to be if you met them. Let's say, you know what I'm saying? Like I met Capadonna years ago, and I'd already had like a version of him that I expected, and with Cap, it was exactly that, It's like, loved it, Like he's exactly the same person you hear on them songs, boy. You know what I mean? I love. That's what's up. He's amazing. You know what I mean? Amazing dude. Shout out to Cap, man. But yeah, man.
Hey, bro. Nah, just real quick, just shout out to the whole Wu-Tang. I think RZA in the NFT space, like, bro. Again, talking about being an innovator and creative, like RZA in the NFT space, Wu-Tang in the I seen Method Man do some shit or whatever, but. Nah, like
it's all coming. I think it's all coming. If I had to guess, everybody's here. You know what I mean? They've got one of the best brands in the history of brands. I don't even talk about fuck hip hop at that point. Wu-Tang got one of the best brands in the history of brands. You can throw that up. You can throw that up. Everybody knows what you're talking about. It'd be Little Baby from today. You like,
bro? Hold on.
Oh nah.
You can't even see. I got the Wu on right now.
Come on, man. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I got
see what I'm saying? Generations and generations. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Every time I'm around anybody from that family, there's a lot of family. Yeah, man. I'm always. It's a respectful thing, man. Those guys really, really do it. You know what I mean? I definitely, man. It's been a big thing to me. Buddha Monk is one of my like mentors in music. You know what I'm saying? Buddha Monk was with Dirty Bastard for years. You know what I mean? And man, I'm trying to tell you, like, that culture is real. They really, it's really like a family. It's not necessarily like music brand thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I met one of the, I met Jimmy Kang, vice president of Wu-Tang Management. You know what I mean? And I was like talking to him. I used to do a night called Wu-Tang Wednesday. This is how this all started. You know, I was DJing. And so I was like, yo, come by tonight, come hang out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about nothing. And then I wanted to do like a bunch of Wu-Tang Wednesdays all over or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm always kind of trying to do something. And he was like, you're much better off just kind of like being around the family because we operate like a corporation. You know what I'm saying? Like the W is a corporation. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what I'm saying. It's the best brand in the history of brands. You know what I mean? Because they really, you know, they put it on. You know what I mean? They made a lot of money for a lot of people. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
In the NFT space, it's like they don't even need to be early. You know what I'm saying? In the NFT space, they can come on late. Because there's like McDonald's. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like McDonald's will be here eventually too, doing Happy Meal NFTs. Yeah. It's happening. No question is happening. You know, because you're going to get like I don't know, let's say a Fortnite NFT in your Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I can see that.
And that's what I'm saying. There's gonna be a time when NFT don't equate to just straight value. You know what I'm saying? Because there's got to be a useful thing there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I saw Maddie put up a video about, I don't know if you've seen his he's doing like a version of a metaverse. It's like but it's more like high quality graphics. Okay. So it's kind of like more like a video game. You know what I'm saying? And they had a part where you know, at the end of the quest, you get a curio card for real in the game. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's the utility we talking about. That might not be, well, you know, maybe the first couple, you know, they're like historic and stuff. But at the end of the day, that's just going to be the way things are. You know, and you own the asset that you won in the video game and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And yeah, you could sell it to somebody outright and stuff, but you might not be selling it for 20x or some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, I'm just trying to get rid of this. You know, I don't play that game no more, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you might sell it for cheaper than you bought it for, just to get it out. You know what I mean? We're not understanding that utility yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know a couple things to that. OpenSea, they just released the Seaport, I guess, contracts, these new contracts where basically like you could purchase an NFT, not just with fungible tokens like ETH, right? But also you can bundle your purchase with fungible and non-fungible tokens. So like if I wanted to buy a Bored Ape, but I didn't have enough ETH, but I also have a doodle, I could spend the doodle and the ETH to get the Bored Ape, right? So using your NFTs.
So how would they like mark the value? Like how do you say, oh, the value of the doodle is exactly this?
Yeah, it might be the floor price. It might be the last selling price. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, so I mean that is possible. But then also too, Vitalik recently he's been talking about non-transferable NFTs, right? And what that looks like if your license or your diploma from college was an NFT that just stayed in your wallet and you can't transfer these things.
This is going back to my point. I forgot my point about Solana I wanted to say earlier, and it's, you know, goes. It's not just Solana, about chains. That I always thought that once I seen what NFTs were and kind of had a better vision of it, I'm like, yo, wouldn't you see in the future a future where like ETH is for house deeds, for things like that, your license, you know, things of important nature, and then you would play games on Solana or something else on the other one, or Flow, Wax, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you would, you know, there's a different use for, let's say, each chain. You know, and Andreas Antonopoulos used to talk about like, you know, that you don't need a blockchain for that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you do need a blockchain for something, and some things need their own whole blockchain. Because you've seen, I mean, a simple thing like CryptoKitties break ETH at the time. You know, that might not happen today, but you know, different times. But even Stoner Cats did it, and then this more recently the other side did it. You know, those should have had their own. Like other side should have definitely made their own chain.
Chain.
That was nonsense because you had enough money. You know, so it's like, you know what I mean? You're being greedy, as their community tends to be. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But, you know what I mean? As far as like, yeah, you would have a whole blockchain for a purpose. You know, like, oh, this is important, but not as important as your house deed and your, you know, whatever, those kind of things would be the NFTs that are on the main chain. Like, let's call Ethereum the main chain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the future I kind of see. But, you know, man, we'd have to go through, I feel like we'd have to go through a couple cycles before you see, like, you know, get these chains to say, oh, yeah, this is for this and this is for this. And people to take to that. And honestly, how wallets are going to look going forward, too, because I'm not trying to have a million versions of MetaMask, which is what it is right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's a great opportunity. Like, I don't know if you ever used a Phantom wallet, but I love that wallet. Like, I think it's dope.
I got to take a look at that, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, what does the wallet space look like in 5 years from now? I always think about, like, Gmail. Like, the wallet should be like that. Like, it's like an inbox. So I always use, like, this reference when I'm talking to people. I say, you know, Web 1 was email. Web 2 is, like, the social DM, right? And Web 3 is the wallet. Like, and so we need the wallet to upgrade and feel and look different, I think. So,
Web 4, huh?
Web 4, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's implanted inside you, bro. Yeah.
Oh shit, man. That is the, I don't know. I hope that's not the progression. You know, when we start to have all that. You know, me and Maddie were talking about VR. You know what I mean? And like, what would the future of VR really look like? Because you can't. I told him, like, I'm wearing my laptop on my face, man. That thing's annoying. You know what I mean? I have one. I have it upstairs. I barely ever use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one thing I like about whatever the VR, it's like I can be upstairs and like be on my computer in my VR. That's, to me, is my favorite. You know, I can sit, like, lay in my bed and watch movies from, you know, whatever, watch everything I got on my whole computer, because you know, so whatever. But I'm just saying that thing is too big, you know, right now.
Yeah.
If it was glasses, or felt more like glasses, people would be more into it. You know what I mean? But you got to be wearing this thing. You know what I mean?
Oh no, Apple about to change the game. Yeah, when Apple Glass launches, there'll be glasses. They won't be a big old headset.
And that's
I
what
imagine.
I'm saying.
I don't
Then
know.
it'd be what do you call it? Then it's like. I hate to say it, but you're gonna have rappers in the videos. They wearing the glasses, you know, because you know they're gonna be the first ones. You know, they're gonna be the
It's
first
like the Beats
one.
headphones, bro. Yeah, you got to promote this shit. As long as they get in the bag on the back end or the front end, hey.
But I always just thought that, you know, when glasses or VR, when VR becomes glasses, then they become cool, and then now you're gonna have a lot of people with VR. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, you don't need a bunch of VR platforms, you know, because nobody's using it yet. You know, you can be the first platform, fine, you know, but there's already a bunch of platforms that exist. They're not gonna stop, you know what I mean? But when the time comes, everybody goes to it. We were talking about Decentraland not being VR and how it like made a lot of people butthurt in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That they were like my VR, you know, that type of thing.
Patience.
It's just, it was true. That's how it was, man. The dudes were flipping out about VR. Oh, I got, you know, this ain't VR, then it's not. But I felt that VR wasn't ready, and I still feel VR ain't ready. But again, if Apple does come out with these things and the next they become a trend, forget about it. Everything gonna have to be VR, and that's no problem, because it can be, everything can be everything in the digital world can be adjusted. You know, it's just coding in the background.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing too is mobile, right? Speaking about Decentraland, like that mobile app, I think that's another barrier to entry. You know, a lot of people are on their phones versus laptops, desktops. So yeah, like you need a mobile experience for some of these Web3 products as well, besides the wallet, you know? So like I should be able to go in my wallet and then go into Decentraland, right? Like it should just work like that.
Yeah. And I think that's not even an issue. I think really, I mean, when you come to Decentraland, dudes just got to get in the DAO and set those DAO proposals up, man. You go look in those DAO proposals right now, everybody wants to just benefit themselves. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, what needs to be done, what needs to be done. You know what I mean? You know, maybe, you know, I guess I could go and make that proposal, but you know what I mean? I'm sure that, I know they're working on it. There's always that they're working on it, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, at some point, I think it has to be the community that steps forward and say, yo, if we want to progress to the next level, there should be a mobile app. You know, we should be able to use controllers on this thing, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Regardless of what the ins and outs of it are, just make it happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
You got to put the pressure on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a DAO, right? It's literally a DAO. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why, that's what I love about Decentraland when it comes, going back to, my origins is Decentraland, you know what I mean? It's like we've been running this DAO now for years. People talk about DAOing, whatever they, like we've been doing it for this amount of time, you know what I'm saying? Proven, failed, whatever, all bunch of stuff has happened. And now, it's not a well-oiled machine, but it's still working. You know what I mean? It's still, that's how the decisions are being made and stuff like that. Funds are being allocated and stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm saying like, people need to understand that about that, because there's other platforms that are going to be just basically run by the person who was making the stuff back then.
Yeah.
No, hey, that's what you want. Is what you want. But I'm just saying, like, I have a better feeling about a virtual world that's ran by multiple people in the real world from different places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That feels like the way it should be. Decentralized.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. When it comes to, because people are gonna end up seeing, because when, let's say you have something fold, who do you think is gonna burn off with the money?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have a whole, let's say a digital world fold. Yeah, the guy at the top is gonna burn off with most of the money. He's gonna know first. Oh, it's folded. You know what I mean?
We out of here.
On my way out. You know what I'm saying?
Pack your bags, bro. Pack your bags.
Hey man, I mean, it is what it is. You got to understand this, understand what's going on in the background. If you want to make these good decisions. I am just as guilty of making terrible decisions out here. You know what I'm saying? But you're better off when you do some research. Is all I'm saying.
Facts. Trial by error.
Right.
Yep.
And so we pulling up on an hour, Connie. I don't know if I don't want to hold you for too long. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to keep these right around an hour. But I really appreciate you doing this, man. This is big for me, because you guys, the early adopters, are like the leaders in the space now, which is fucking sick because we was some dudes, man. You know what I mean? For real. Like, and y'all are the real leaders now, and I really appreciate y'all, man, because y'all put me in a spot where I can do what I'm doing right here. You know what I mean?
That's love, bro. Nah, it's great watching you do your thing, bro. I love watching people's journeys, just unfold. I was talking to Rizzo. Actually, no, I sent a tweet to Rizzo earlier because he put something out, and I was just like responding, like, I love watching your journey. And it's just true. Like, it's dope watching everybody evolve over the years. Like, and the fact that you're bringing people on to talk about those experiences over the years, I think that's dope too. Yeah. So yeah, man, keep at it, bro.
I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you. And like I said, if you don't know about Connie, go look it up, because he literally did everything you ever heard of first. So get off of it, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, we out here.
Right. Right. Look out for that A-Scene project, because that sounds crazy. And like I said, I might even take that challenge too. You know what I mean? That's cool.